News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. There's your closing bell for this Thursday on Wall Street, where NVIDIA suffered its worst stock decline in 3 months after that company's latest forecast failed to dispel fears of an AI bubble. NVIDIA shares slid more than 5.5% lower in regular trading, and that impacted the markets. We do bring you closing numbers each day here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 down 37 points, NASDAQ down 274 points. The Dow gained 17 points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4%, the 2-year yield at 3.44%. And checking Bitcoin now, it's down 2.3%, hovering around $67,000. And it looks like a big beat from Dell, which sees 2027 revenue between $138 and $142 billion. Estimates were closer to $126 billion. Dell also sees first quarter revenue at $34.7 billion to $35.7 billion. The average analyst estimates were at $29.3 billion. The company also announced a cash dividend increase of 20% and a $10 billion increase in share repurchase authorization. Dell shares are up more than 7% in the post-market. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton today told House lawmakers she had no knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and doesn't recall ever meeting him. This was the first of 2 days of closed-door depositions in Chappaqua, New York, that will also include former President Bill Clinton, who is scheduled to appear before lawmakers tomorrow. Democratic Representative Robert Garcia, the panel's top-ranking Democrat, says the majority must release the transcript and video of Clinton's testimony unedited within a day.
We want to make a very clear demand right now, which is that the full transcript, unedited, of the Secretary's questions and the answers need to be released by the majority in the next 24 hours.
Clinton's testimony was paused when Republican Representative Lauren Boebert took a picture of Clinton and leaked it to a conservative influencer who posted it online. That's a violation of House rules. Representative Garcia.
That leaked photo was sent out by a member, and the fact it was not just one photo, it was one photo and then a second post that also included a photo as well. And so that was completely against the rules. I think we're grateful that the Secretary continued the deposition, but not acceptable.
Garcia says there should be repercussions handed down by House Republicans. Iran and the United States have wrapped up another round of indirect talks in Geneva with no deal struck. But Oman's foreign minister, who is mediating the talks, says significant progress was made. Oman says technical level talks will be held next week in Vienna. The U.S. team has tough demands for the Iranians, including that they destroy 3 main nuclear sites and that any nuclear deal must last forever and have no sunset clauses. The Trump administration's move to ease oil shipments to Cuba's private sector is all part of a plan to make the island more reliant on the U.S. for supplies, increasing Washington's leverage to bring about political and economic change in Cuba. Now, sources tell Bloomberg the plan is continuing to take shape, although there are new tensions now running high after a speedboat from the U.S. carrying 10 people approached Cuba's north shore and opened fire on Cuban soldiers. The soldiers returned fire, killing 4 people and wounding 6 others. A Pentagon spokesman says the Department of Defense won't let AI company Anthropic dictate limits on how its models can be used. Sean Parnell posted on social media that the Pentagon has no interest in using AI to conduct mass surveillance of Americans, which is illegal. Anthropic's policies prevent their models from being used for those purposes. The Pentagon gave Anthropic until 5:01 p.m. tomorrow to open up its technology or risk losing its contract and be designated a supply chain risk. The latest weekly jobless claims were out today. The low hire, low fire trend continues. More on that with Bloomberg's Michael McKee.
212,000. That's up a little bit from 208,000, a revised number from last week, but it is still a very low number. Continuing claims, 1,833,000, down from 1,864,000 the prior week. And of course, those are week delayed.
Bloomberg's Mike McKee. The average 30-year mortgage rate in the U.S. has slipped below 6% for the first time since 2022 to 5.98%. That could breathe life into the coming spring home selling season. Rate below 6% may ease affordability slightly and get some buyers back off the fence, but borrowing costs costs would have to plunge even more to fully unlock the housing market. A federal judge in Washington says he just doesn't have the authority to consider a challenge to President Trump's decision to build a ballroom at the White House. The judge found that the nonprofit National Trust for Historic Preservation did not properly challenge the president's legal authority. New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani says he had a productive meeting with President Trump at the White House to talk about expanding residential development in New York City. Mamdani posted on social media that he's looking forward to building more housing, and he posted a photo with Trump in the Oval Office. Mamdani also spoke with Trump about a Columbia University student who was detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Trump informed him that that student will be released imminently. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris, and this is Bloomberg.